Hey guys, what is up? Coming to you live from Portland, Oregon. I wasn't there in Auckland. My mother was tonight. She was out there in the pouring rain. She saw the hometown team, the Blues, go down to the Chiefs. Chiefs mana, y'all. They won it. 25 points to 14. It doesn't quite atone for the grand finals they've lost. They're hurting down in Hamilton. I'll tell you what, they've lost 2. That sucks. They're always the bridesmaid lately. Crusaders seem to have their number. Blues had their number. Blues didn't have their number tonight. It looked like they might have their number, but as the game wore on, we saw some tactical brilliance in the coaching in terms of the selection of the bench. The Chiefs bench was instrumental in winning this game. It was something I noticed when I took a look at the team sheets. Now, the first thing that jumped out is what I put on the thumbnail. Beauden Barrett versus Damian McKenzie, the battle of the All Black 10s. Mouth-watering stuff. Ironically, both selected at fullback. At least it was a like-for-like comparison, so we'd see the two All Blacks pivots going against each other from the back, and in some ways that was nice because it was a good showcase for their skills, a little bit more time and space to work their magic, get their outsides going. So Barrett versus McKenzie. On balance tonight, you'd have to say that McKenzie shaded his older, more experienced counterpart. But the Blues back three was phenomenal. It was an All Blacks back three. Caleb Clark on one wing, Mark Talea on the other. Probably didn't play to their full potential, but it's round one. Man, it didn't look like round one at times, though. This was high-impact, physical rugby. Not quite test intensity, but man, it was getting up there. Some of the hits had me shaking in my boots here in the States. Incredible. Probably didn't have the magic in terms of the attack that we saw last night with the Crusaders and the Hurricanes. Crusaders scored maybe what will go down as one of the tries of the season. A David Havili kick. Set it all up. Unforgettable stuff. Then there was another kick from Sevu Reece. Innovative play from the men down south in Christchurch who got a much-needed win. So there wasn't that kind of champagne rugby tonight, but there was thunderous physical intensity. And that was good to see. And as an All Black fan, you were kind of licking your lips. It's good when you see the boys hitting form in the first game. It makes me think, okay, we're getting set up for a nice little season here. They're coming in hot. They're coming in with intensity. But I looked at the team sheet, like I said, and the Chiefs bench had 144 test caps on it. What? Amoni Narawa, Samapeni Finau, Cortez Ratama, who has played many games for the All Blacks at halfback last year in the absence of Cam Roigard. He racked up quite a few test caps last year. And then when you have Anton Leonard-Brown to come on, I mean, you're in a luxury position there. You're in the box seat. So I kind of felt looking at this that if the Chiefs could hang in there and weather the storm, I mean, not just the one in Auckland, but the storm from the Blues forwards who are so good with their pick and go, so quick at the breakdown. High Life says, Chiefs, baby, let's go. Your Chiefs did good today, son. Man, they delivered, bro. I know you're happy. It's good to see. Chime in, guys. Comment. I'll respond to all your comments as we go here. So the Chiefs were interesting, too, in terms of their locks, because Sam Darry's out. We need some more locking depth for the All Blacks. So I did have my eye on Arcoy and Josh Lord, who's had an injury-plagued few seasons, but they were strapping up for the Chiefs in the middle row today. Kept an eye on them. Also wanted to see how the captain would go. Well, I don't know if I can repeat this. I'm going to offend much of the audience. This is High Life, not me. He says, I live in Auckland, but Dorklanders, we owned those bums. Full disclaimer, I didn't say that. I spent my childhood in Auckland. I lived there till I was about 9 or 10, then I moved to Australia. So, look, I can't vouch for this anti-Auckland rhetoric, but High Life, your team won. You get to gloat a little bit. They did good. The other thing I was thinking about going into this game is no Geordie Barrett this year. He's playing for Leinster. And so he'll be back for the All Blacks, but you got to keep an eye on the midfield stocks in New Zealand. So I had my eye on Quinn Tupaia. He's played for the All Blacks before. He was running out there for the Chiefs. I wanted to take a look at how he played today. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you his halftime stats. They will blow your hair back, even if you're not from Hamilton, because he put in one hell of a shift. But guys, as we always do, I've given you some initial thoughts here. We're going to kind of recap the game. I'll respond to your questions, then finish up with some final thoughts. So initially, this game had a lot of feeling out. Back and forth. Bombs going up. We expected D-Mac and Beauden Barrett to run. They actually kicked a lot in the first 5 minutes. And kicks that had remarkable height. They came down with snow on them, but were pretty shallow. So really midfield bombs all around. And you had the Blues trying to get their attack going. They got a line out. They got their pick and go rolling. But then Arcoy, that lock from the Chiefs who I mentioned before, he turned the ball over. The first of many turnovers. That's going to be a theme tonight as we break down this game. Turnovers killed the Blues. So a lot of back and forth. The Chiefs actually got down to the Blues try line. They drew the Blues offside. They also were putting on so much pressure that the Blues weren't rolling away in the tackle. So there were multiple penalties racking up. Luke Jacobson, the captain, the skipper of the Chiefs, he was in the ref's ear all night. This was a great referee management performance from the captain. I heard him talking out there as much as I heard the commentators talking. Like, Luke Jacobson was yapping all night, but he did it well. He was riding the ref, metaphorically. He was in his ear, and he got the ref paying attention to the Blues, who did not have a good night for their discipline. So, Chiefs, in the end, said, all right, we're not going to score a try here. Let's just take the points. They took the shot. D-Mac slotted it. 0-3 to the Chiefs. That's right, playing the territory game, High Life says. Well, if you look at the stats here, I put these little stats down here. The territory was 64-36. And that goes a long way when the rain starts coming down, as it did in the second half. So again, Blues get the ball back. They're attacking. At times, the Blues attack looks good. Jacobson, turnover. So we're 15 minutes in. The ball's getting turned over quite a bit. And the penalty count is 5-1 against the Blues. I made a note here. You know, if the discipline doesn't improve, they're going to be in trouble. So, in the 26th minute, finally, a penalty goes the way of the Blues. Hands in the ruck from the Chiefs. Now, the Blues actually went for the sideline here. They went for a line out. It was a sitter. I mean, they could have kicked 3 points, but maybe they just felt the momentum was starting to go their way. Always take the points on offer. Ask the Brumbies. That's what High Life says in the chat. They didn't take the points this time. They went for the line out. Riccatelli carded it up. It went to Talia. They get down. They're right on the Chiefs try line. They're knocking on the door. And then Papali'i grabs the ball, goes beast mode. He smashes over. And it was 20-24 all over again. Papali'i so often would do those hard yards in the opposition 22. Blues were just amazing with their pick and go last year. Vern Cotter, the coach, put a real hard spine into this team. They had the best line out in the competition, about 89% of their own ball they'd win. So often, if they could just get down to the opposition 22, you've got Sotutu, who wasn't playing today, Riccatelli, Papali'i. Big boys, big mobile units. It's too easy sometimes. Looked pretty easy here. They scored a try in the 26th minute. So the Eden Park faithful were feeling pretty good at that point, including my mum. And I want to give a shout out to Tanya, to Susie, to Hugh and Rosie, my family that were there in Auckland. I didn't see you on TV, but I was looking for you. I hope you didn't get too wet. I texted my mum during the game. I said, are you okay? Are you drowning? She said, it's not that bad. It's just, an Auckland drizzle. It got bad in the second half. We'll get to that. First half, it was just patchy Auckland rain, but it got pretty bad. So let's go to the 32nd minute, guys. Leroy Carter, winger extraordinaire for the Chiefs. I heard the commentators talking about him as a possible man of the match. I don't know who got man of the match, guys, because I started getting ready for this live stream. If you know, put it in the chat. But Leroy Carter would have been in the conversation. He was cutting through. He's got that sevens background. Oh, he was awesome tonight. And the Chiefs were putting on the phases. They got 13 phases in a row. They kept getting penalty advantage. D-Mac had an overlap to his left. He missed it. Didn't really go anywhere. So the Chiefs said, all right, you know what? We'll just take the 3 points. So D-Mac takes 3. Now Blues are 7. Chiefs are 6. The 37th minute, though, the Blues started doing their pick-and-go routine that they love. When in doubt, go back to the pick-and-go. But again, it got turned over. A Boschia turnover. The Chiefs had their number at the breakdown. You don't want to hear that in Auckland, but they did. The Chiefs were all over the breakdown. But you felt like it might not matter because in the 39th minute, some absolute magic and class from the Auckland backs. AJ Lamb scored a try. Now, it was after a Papali'i turnover, so the Blues did get a turnover back there. They just had to go through the hands. Rieko Ioane transferred the ball very well. Went out to Talea, who then fed the ball back inside to AJ Lamb. Another midfielder to keep your eye on as a Kiwi. So we're going to the halftime break, and it's 14 points to 6. The Blues are up, riding high. You kind of feel like they might close this game out. Second half was a different story. They didn't score again. 14 points at halftime, 14 points at full time. A total shutout in the second half. A defensive masterclass from the Chiefs is what we got. Now, I mentioned Quinn Tupaia. Check out these stats, guys. 90 meters carrying in the first half, okay? And 10 tackles completed. Those are some damn good stats. So Beauden Barrett might be away, but while the cat's away, the mice will play. We have some good midfielders running around. I've said on this channel a few times that Rieko Ioane might not be safe at 13. You never know, guys. There could be a reshuffle coming in that midfield. I'm not convinced that Beauden Barrett and Rieko Ioane are going to be our starting centers in 2027. There's a long way to go, but watch this space. Now, in the 43rd minute, Finn Christie came on, the forgotten man of New Zealand rugby, the forgotten halfback, being usurped by Cortez Ratama and, of course, Cam Roigard. And speaking of Cortez Ratama, he came on in the 50th minute with Amoni Narawa. So now the Chiefs were starting to empty the bench. I mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. Watch out for the Chiefs bench. It is stacked with All Blacks. It's one of the best benches I've ever seen in Super Rugby. In the 53rd minute, all that All Black might coming on made a difference. Chiefs had a penalty go their way. They go for the line out. Crunch. A beauty of a rolling maul. They got the field position. They got the territory. They're right down in the 22. Ball goes out to the backs, and D-Mac just does it himself. Goes on an arcing run. Looks like he's running and fast forward. They can't stop him. He scores a try. D-Mac shanked the conversion for some reason, pretty much right in front, but he just completely pulled it. So now it was 14-11. The Chiefs were coming back. They were breathing down the necks of the Blues. Now, it seemed like the Blues had a riposte in the 57th minute. Clark and Talea, the All Black wingers, combined. Looked like a try. Looked like Talea got over, but on the replay, it was apparent that Cortez Ratama held him up, skidded in, knocked Talea into touch. Just a beautiful bit of desperate defense. Summed up the attitude of the Chiefs, man. They were hurting, bro. Like, those grand finals that they lost, that is gnawing away at them. They came up the highway to Auckland. They had grit. They had intensity. They were filthy. Absolutely filthy. And you could see it in defensive efforts like that. Oh, you think that D-Mac got player of the game? I could see that. I could see D-Mac being the man of the match. Probably outplayed Barrett. Barrett attacked well, just had a couple of flubbed kicks, and we're going to get to one that really was costly at the end. Barrett's a legend, don't get me wrong. 2-time Rugby World Player of the Year. Superstar. But had a little fluff of his lines at the end that was a little bit costly. Here we are, guys. It's the 61st minute. Once again, the Chiefs are hot on attack. They get an advantage. They go for a cross kick, right? But Caleb Clark gets cleaned out in the air by Samipeni Finau. So it looks like the Chiefs are in a lot of trouble here. They might get a yellow card. As they're debating that, the ref on the sideline says, no, go back and check out this other possible yellow card. Turns out that Samipeni Finau had been tackled, cleaned out head high before. So it was sort of like, okay, Samipeni Finau is either going to be responsible for the Blues getting a yellow card because he got taken out in the head, or he's going to be sent off for a yellow card for taking Caleb Clark out in the air. They looked at the footage. They decided that the worst offense was the head-high tackle, shoulder-on-head on Samipeni Finau. So just what the Blues didn't need, a yellow card, and now they're down to 14 men. We're in the final quarter. The rain is absolutely pissing down in Auckland. You get the picture. So the Chiefs have a penalty to use in the 61st minute. Now remember, it's still 14-11 at this point. They're down. D-Mac kicks for a line out. They rack up 9 phases. Doesn't really go anywhere. They go back to their advantage. They take the scrum. They're 5 meters out. This is nut-cutting time. They need to score here and get ahead. They need to turn all that territory and possession into points. They have a huge scrum. And Jacobson, Luke Jacobson, the captain of the Chiefs, he gets over the line, but it's ruled a double movement. Okay, we go back. Oh, a little NFL reference. Our defense is Baltimore Ravens-like from 2012. That's a deep cut for most New Zealand fans. But yes, the Baltimore Ravens, they got that nasty, nasty D. Chiefs had some nasty D tonight. That sounded more X-rated than I intended it to. I meant their defense was really good. Anyway, so the Chiefs have another scrum. A huge scrum. A monster scrum. And because it's 14-15, now they go wide. They've got the numbers. They've got that one-man advantage. They simply put it through the hands, and that winger that I mentioned, Leroy Carter, scores. Now it is 14 points to 18. The Chiefs are up. In the 68th minute, the Blues are attacking. But there's huge D from the Chiefs. They get a turnover after breakdown pressure, and Cortez Ratama kicks a 50-22 in the rain. How depressing for the Auckland fans. How depressing for the Blues. How depressing for Vern Cotter. Not pretty. Fortunately for the Blues, the line-out throw from the Chiefs wasn't straight, so the Blues got a free kick there. A little bit of a get-out-of-jail card. But it was all for nothing because in the 75th minute, D-Mac did it himself. Again, he scored a try after some patient build-up. Now, I mentioned that Beauden Barrett made a little bit of a mistake. Basically, Blues got the ball inside their own 22. Barrett needed to clear it and put it out. He didn't do it. He kicked it, and it was snaffled up by Amoni Narawa, who, remember, came off the bench for the Chiefs. He runs it back with interest. He puts in a chip kick. He's chasing so hard. The defensive line speed is good. The Blues player who collects the ball gets bundled into touch. So now you have another line out close to the Blues try line, and the Chiefs get to throw the ball in. At this point, I'm thinking it's game over, even if they don't score a try. But D-Mac did score a try here. That killed off the game. That's how you end up with a 14-25 win to the Chiefs. So well done, Chiefs. Chiefs mana. It was a tight game. The Blues will be back. Came down to the breakdown, guys. Luke Jacobson was all over it. Too many turnovers. And you have to say that probably the physical battle was just won by the Chiefs. The game last night, Crusaders Hurricanes, wasn't this physical. This was intense. There was a lot of feeling in this one. And that bodes well for the Chiefs going forward. It also bodes well for the All Blacks. Good to see the top Kiwi players hitting form right out of the gate. So, guys, let me know in the comments, how do you think this is going to go from here? I like to make wild predictions in week one. I have said that the Chiefs might go all the way, fueled by their losses in past years. On the evidence of tonight, I'm going to stick with that. But let's see, we might be having a Crusaders renaissance. The Hurricanes were the best team in season last year. They got beaten by the Chiefs in the semis, but they were the minor premiers. Even the Highlanders went down by the narrowest of margins in Sydney last night. So all the Kiwi teams are looking pretty good. Some pretty tight games. Guys, thanks for watching this one with me. High Life, I'm going to let you have the last word. You said defense wins championships. That is true. And the second half shutout from the Chiefs tonight might be the template for them going all the way this year. If they can replicate that intensity throughout the season that we saw in the second half on defense, that's going to go a long way to putting them in the title picture. But guys, it's week 1. Let me know your predictions in the comments. I love you guys. It's a late one here. What time is it? 12:34 in Portland, Oregon. Off to sleep for me. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll be back for another one real soon.